Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently expanding, and we're expanding quite rapidly at this point. That is wonderful. We're going to reach our peak expansion eventually, but we're not there yet. We've got a ways to go there, for sure. So that is absolutely fine. Eventually we're going to want to upgrade these to star fortresses, but we don't have the tech to do that right now. So that is absolutely understood at this moment. We can activate a relic. I don't think we want to necessarily. I suppose we could spawn some pops. You know what? Let's do it. Okay. So that is absolutely fine. The ISS Sea Hare requires orders, and where do we want that to go? Well, we could head up to Niza Taram and explore the Astral Rift there. That seems like a good thing to do. We've got a couple of terraformations happening right now, and I don't think... Oh, this is a Savannah world. Okay, we could definitely terraform this over to a tropical world, which we will do. There's poor quality minerals there right now, so that is understood. That will not be a mining world. For the time being, we don't really need a mining world, so that is wonderful. I'm assuming we already have a colonization planned here? Yes. And presumably also one here. Actually, no, we don't have one planned here, so we can send some Signer out to colonize that. That sounds great. So in that case, is there anything else that we need to do? This is a tomb world here, and I think the answer to that is no, as far as that expansion goes. So that is great. So now we've got this tidal wave fleet back at Radar Central. Now we can expand these up to 110. And that's definitely a good thing to do, but that's going to be 20 each, so a grand total of 40. This will take us to 220, and we'll be over our naval cap. So the question is, do we want to go over our naval cap? I think it's fine. I'm not too concerned about it. I'd like to take us up to 10 cruisers, and then whatever our maximum of destroyers is right now. Okay, 15 is okay. So we're going to go to 10 and 15, like that. So that's going to cost 5,137 alloys. We'll go ahead and hit that reinforce all button, and that's going to get this fleet, the Tsunami fleet, completely reinforced. It's on its way back to Radar Central right now. It will arrive there in the eventual times, and that sounds good. So we're heading down to Eliathian. There's not really a good reason to grab Eliathian right now because we don't have zero distillation. We might actually want to head up here instead and take Vokine. That'll also get us up to Urantok next, and that'll be a good colonization world for us. So I think that's a good way to go. So there's some advanced Corvette hulls, sure. We could grab battleships, but we're going to have some naval cap issues anyway, so I think at this point that's not a good idea. We could grab mining station output for the moment, and that seems fine. Okay, so we've got some things going on here. This person, or rather challenge completed, succumbed to Tempest. Okay, we also had a leader die, and we'll get to that. New heights were reached, and limits have been shredded. Just the thing to get the emotions firing. We have completed the trial. The Great Storm called their name, and they answered with jubilation. Hail, Storm Rider, you absolute legend. May your journey to the great age beyond be as epic as your exit. Right on. Indeed. Also, Event Chain Storm Fever has progressed. We've done it. Setting our sights on the pure pursuit of thrills, we've met every challenge. Witness what we've accomplished in the past years. Honestly, I don't know if we've accomplished all that much. It kind of feels like we haven't, but okay, whatever. Like the most excellent pioneers of our homeworld, we've pushed ourselves beyond our limits. Even better, due to our engagement with nature's fury, we have gained incredible insight into the meaning of existence. We are so back. Okay, so that is fantastic. We finished up with the Bow Rider in Strom, and from here I'd like to go over to Dojak, but we don't have the influence to build a starbase there just yet. So the ISS Bluefin is done in Sau, and we can definitely build the mining and research stations here, head up to Mugi and build the mineral station there. I'm not sure why we didn't have that previously. And then we can head into Dorelium. So that'll be perfect. We've also got this science ship idling in Unak, and that's because its leader died. Okay, we will put this guy in charge, and we will excavate the site. We can also sustain the cosmic storm. That's interesting. For the moment, we don't really, I think, have a reason to do that. Although that's definitely an interesting thing that we can do because of the increases from all of the buildings. So that's an interesting thing that we can do, as well as in combat, now that I think about it. That has a lot of applications. Okay, I'll have to figure out how I want to utilize that. Speaking of things that we have to figure out how we want to utilize, this world. It has no modifiers other than devastation. So we could go with like a storm relief center. That's definitely an option. Let's put a storm relief center and a storm summoning theater in there. That'll be okay. So on this aggro world, I would definitely like to put in a food processing facility and maybe even a storm attraction center. Yeah, let's do that. But we need housing here, and that doesn't solve any of those problems. So let's get this city district put in up at the top. That'll be fine. Magnificent. So the tsunami fleet should be fully reinforced, and the tidal wave will get there eventually. We can continue to work on reinforcing that. We also just maxed our astral threads, and we should probably upgrade our astral siphon. There we go. That'll be fine. Wonderful.
Blocker
so we can see here that we have quite a lot of ships being built at once here. Interesting. This is actually producing 8 ships simultaneously. Huh. So when I read this +1 shipyard capacity, right, I assumed that this was going to be applying to the station, but it doesn't. It applies to each and every one of these shipyards. That's insane. That essentially turns this into a mega shipyard. Huh. Wild. It's not quite as good as a mega shipyard, but it's very close. So that's good to know. No doubt about that. And of course we have an open council position, the Grand Head of Storms. So who do we want to put in here? I think this guy would not be a good choice. Leader experience gain, yeah, that's understood, but I don't necessarily want any of these guys. I think we're going to end up going with... None of them are fantastic. I'm going to go with this guy. It's fine. So this construction ship is idling here, and we want to build a starbase here, but of course, we're lacking the influence for it right now. We also have this archaeological event pending and this astral rift event pending. We'll get closer, but we need a lot of influence at this time. We're currently making 2.7 influence from our power projection. That number will come up a fair amount yet. Let's continue to reinforce this fleet. We should be very, very close at this point to getting this fully reinforced, right? Yeah, I believe we need 1 additional cruiser here. So that looks good. We'll have that soon. And yes, we are exploring that astral rift. Excellent.
Handshake protocols activated.
A commercial pact. Under most circumstances, I would love to do that. However, we need our influence. So that's going to be a no for right now. Cool. So these target uplink computers are going to finish up in our bastions quite soon. And of course, we have a number of idling construction ships right now. That's understood.
Construction complete.
We did just finish up another one of these, and we've established Wankworth Prime. So that seems excellent. We are planning to have this be a science world, but the first thing that we're going to need to put in here is, of course, going to be a gene clinic, and then we're going to build a city district as well. Wonderful. So, all we need now is 1 more month tick, and that should be our fleets up to their new max. Now, you can see here, we're over our naval capacity. That's understood. The maintenance of our military ships is increased by 6% right now. That's going to go up a little bit more. That's fine. We completely understand that. We're going to have 3 cruisers coming out eventually, and that will be perfect. I do want to start upgrading our fleets fairly soon. I'm going to wait until our current construction is done, though. So this aggro world, we can get a planetary administration made, and that will actually solve all of those problems. This mining world, we definitely need a mining district on. So that looks good. Do we have a storm relief center here? We do not. We should put in a storm relief center. There we go. That'll be wonderful. And then this factory world. It requires housing. So we're at 12 of 18 industrial districts right now. I think I'm just going to I might even consider putting in a housing building here. I wouldn't usually do this, but I'm going to put in a luxury residence here.
Handshake protocols activated.
A defensive pact with the Zeritan Citizen Alliance. We're going to decline that for right now. We want the influence. And what trait do we want here? This guy's our Elder Speaker. Research speed of materials, research speed of computing, or research speed of psionics? We're going to take the psionics. Beautiful. So that looks good for now. Non-aggression pact with the Zeritan Citizen Alliance again. Get out of here. Our improved production just finished. So we could go with, like, nano-vitality crops. There's a lot of good options. No doubt about it. Off-world trading companies would be good, too. I'm going to grab that for now. We're going to want to start making trade stations fairly soon and figure out what our trade network is going to look like. We're leaving a lot of trade on the map right now. And I mean, we don't need it, strictly speaking, but it would be nice to have. So at this point, we can definitely build in Dojak, and we're going to do that. We also have this Astral Rift event pending, which we will proceed with. And we have an Astral Action available. It is Dimensional Locking or Flash Forging a Hyper Relay. We can't actually do either of those for now. We did, however, newly found this colony. Right. This is the one with the hyper-magnetized planetary core. So, do we want to actually do anything with the Dayside infrastructure? I think the answer is no. For now. Reason being, we have this technician output minus 10% and alloy from miners. So I think what we need to do is, well, first off, we obviously need to put in a gene clinic. That is always going to be our step number one. And then I think we're going to be very short on our districts, so building slots are going to be an issue here. This might be a place to put our seeds. So that's definitely noted. Mining districts are absolutely something I'm going to want to put in here. So we are going to put in mineral purification plants. And I'm going to max out all of these mining districts. From there, we'll figure out what we want to do with this. Metallurgist upkeep reduction does mean that we could think about putting in at least some alloy production. Complete. And that would be reasonably fine. Let's see here. That's this world here. I want this to be designated to be a mining world. There we go. Now, we've got this world here, Ariga. This is not set up to be anything in particular, although it does certainly have worker unemployment right now. So I do want to put in our gene clinics, and we're going to build a city district here. There's a lot of districts here. It's a large planet. We'll see what we want to do with that for now. Ah, the Wraith. So that's
Station
down over
under
here.
Attack.
Noted. It's attacking us in Sau. A spectral entity has been detected by our sensors. It seems to be roaming from system to system, destroying matter around itself indiscriminately. Early observations suggest its composition and manipulation of light make it extremely difficult to target. But one thing we've learned exploring the galaxy is that even light itself can be bent and broken. We only need to figure out how. Whether by reason or brute force, it must be possible. Okay, so this is not giving us a special project. We're reasonably strong in our fleets right now. Have we finished our construction of our shipyard? Yes. The Tsunami Fleet's ships haven't arrived yet. That's going to take them a long time. They must be routing around the storm. We can't really change that. All of these are merging with Tsunami. That's interesting. They're all in system. Why are they apparently going to return in 5 years? Well, it's because they're idle. Okay. So where are they actually? They should be merging with Tsunami. But yeah, they are currently idle, which is interesting. So we're going to want to get some upgrades going here, I think. That's very clear. So, our Corvette here. I want to go to Guardian Point Defense. I want to go to Gamma Lasers. And as far as the coil guns go, we could swap this over to autocannon instead of railguns. And given the range differential, that's probably worth doing. So let's do that for our close-range ships. We can go to antimatter reactors, hyperdrive 3s, ion thrusters. This is a significant upgrade overall. We can also go to plasteel armor. Okay, so now we'll do the same thing for our destroyers. I think our destroyers are closing to medium range. So that is potentially out of range of our autocannons. So I think we'll stick with railguns on our destroyers for right now. Although I'd like to have them be... Yeah, medium is the closest they can go. I'd like to have them be in range to fire autocannons, but I don't think that's, strictly speaking, going to be possible. So we'll get all of this upgraded here. Nothing really to upgrade there other than the armor, which we'll definitely do. Okay, so next up would be the cruisers. Now, the cruisers, I absolutely want the large weapon to be kinetic. And then we'll probably have all of the smaller weapons, or maybe something like this. 2 kinetic weapons and 3 laser weapons. Something like that. Okay, and then we'll definitely want to go to plasteel armor here. We probably don't need the reactor boosters. Let's see what our power is looking like. Yeah, so something like auxiliary fire control. There we go. Something like this. Now, we're going to need to upgrade our ships, and that will be pretty expensive. That's, in fact, incredibly expensive. That is much more expensive than I expected it to be to upgrade. That is significantly more expensive. Okay, well, that is fine for right now. I want to buy in a few alloys, so we're going to do that. I'm going to sell some minerals, and I'm going to sell some food, and some consumer goods, and some volatile motes, and some exotic gases, and some rare crystals, and we're going to convert all of that into alloys. So that puts us at about 7,000 alloys. We can get started on these constructions, or rather these upgrades, and we'll see when they get done. Now, the ISS Bluefin is out over here, and the Wraith destroyed our station in Sao. So I'm going to head up over this direction. The ISS Bluefin over here, we have 2 Bluefins, is probably going to start this starbase as soon as the month tick happens. Yeah, let's get that going. There we go. Perfect. And you can see here, we're at 0 alloys, but we've got a lot of upgrades to do. So that is absolutely understood. And hopefully... an encryption key has been misplaced, huh? Fire that incompetent at once.
Blocker cleared.
Okay. So these upgrades are underway. This fleet is the one getting upgraded first, apparently. And that's probably for the best. So it's at 33%. That's not too bad. Yeah, I'm fairly content with that. These guys will eventually have these forces join back in with them. Eventually.
Research complete.
But they're pretty clearly having some issues. So we finished up these mineral cutting beams. That's fine. We could definitely grab star fortresses. We could also grab alloy nanoplants, cruiser hull points. All of that would be good. Even city district housing would be pretty decent. I'm going to go with the alloy nanoplants for now. These guys skipped Mugi and went straight to Kochab. Interesting.
Spaceport under attack.
But they can't actually get rid of this because it'll be rebuilt because of Kochab Prime. But they're going to maraud out over here a little bit.
Handshake protocols activated.
That's understood. So there's a commercial pact invitation. We're going to get rid of that. No thank you. We're going to decline this research agreement as well. And this archaeological event is finished, actually. So that means that the ISS Mezzoglia needs something to do. And what do we want it to do? Well, it could start coming out over this direction and researching these anomalies that apparently got skipped. Sure, go ahead and do that. So we have 3 construction ships all currently idling. And this one up here, definitely we want to build the mining stations on. That'll be fine. There's very little else to construct other than Muscat, and we'd need to take out the Tianqi matriarch for that. So that's understood. We're at 67% upgrading on this fleet. So that looks good. Off-world trading company is now done. We could grab some more habitability. That seems okay. And I would also like to build our mining and research centers here, and then head over to Urantok. That'll be fine for now. So these guys are continuing to maraud up this direction, and the longer this takes, the more influence this is going to cost for us to bring this back. We'll see where he's deciding to go. I actually think he's going to Nikolar, isn't he? Yeah, he definitely is. Let's head around over this way and see if we can get out of there.
Handshake protocols activated.
Defensive pact. We're going to decline that for the moment. I do want to check in on our worlds here. What do we got going on here? So here we're currently building a city district. That will solve the current issues there. On this generator world, we're going to need housing. I think the best thing to do here is honestly to put in some industrial districts. So we'll do that right now. And on our Empire capital, we're also lacking housing, and that definitely means the city district here. Cool. So that looks fine for now. The tidal wave is currently 91% done. Really? Why are you going that route? Don't go that route. Why are you fleeing this way? No, I want you to go on to passive, and I want you to run this direction. Going this way is a good way to get yourself destroyed. Get out of there. There you go. We're faster than the Wraith is, so that looks good for now. Okay, so this Forge world requires a planetary capital, and we're delighted to put that in. We're also going to grab Prosperity here, so that's going to give an additional housing for each city district, as well as Ringworld city segments and Ecumenopolis residential arcologies. So that looks wonderful, and we get an Ascension perk. So what do we want here? Well, we could take Mind Over Matter and go Psionic. We could also think about Cosmogenesis, huh? That's working towards becoming the Crisis as well. I don't know about doing that right now. Imperial Prerogative is definitely interesting. We're going to have a lot of... That's specifically planets. We're probably going to end up with a lot of habitats. I don't know if habitats count. If they do, that's great. We're going to take Imperial Prerogative for right now. So that looks good for the moment. Okay, we're going to finish up the upgrade on the tidal wave basically
Ships
right now.
Upgraded.
And we can grab, say, Artillerist. Perfect. And then we can send the tidal wave out. But we'll see where the Spectre ends up going. For now, we're working on upgrading the Tsunami fleet, and that seems relatively okay. So this mining world requires a job. Is this a real mining world? No, this is a fake mining world. I probably want this to be an industrial world. So to that end, I mean, a storm summoning theater would be fine. We can definitely put in an astrometeorology observatory. That would be fine as well. Cool. So I'm wondering about the funding on upgrading the Tsunami fleet. Well, we are maxed for right now, but we are going to work through that. The ISS Drifting Coracle is currently idle, and I would like to... Oh, we can come out over here and research this anomaly. There's also an anomaly down here that we can research. So let's go do that. Beautiful. So the Tsunami fleet is not going to be totally done, even once it's done with these upgrades. Eventually, it will finish. But we're waiting on its reinforcements to show up. Terrestrial telescopes, huh? Okay, so we're going to gain some society research and unity. Sounds good. And I'm wondering where that Spectre went. Is it just chilling out over here? Maybe. We can head back down to Sao. Although I don't really like this path that it's taking. I'm going to go like that. Cool. So that seems absolutely fine. We are going to have these reinforcements arriving, in theory, in another 3.5 years. I don't know why they're going to take so long. They are apparently in system here, but I think they're like trying to avoid the storm or something. That seems like a significant issue, to be honest, is the way that it tries to path around storms when we're storm riders. It feels like that shouldn't be a thing. But okay. We'll grab Planar Theorist. That'll be fine. Excellent. And how are we doing on upgrading the Tsunami fleet? Okay, so we're at 71% here.
Construction
and I'm
complete.
betting that we are currently having issues with funding. So I'm just going to have this enter orbit here, and let's see what this is going to cost. About 7 months worth. Let's buy in the alloys that we need. We should have enough to do that. So that is going to, yep, that is going to be finishing shortly. Perfect. This Astral Rift event is pending. There we go. And it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're probably going to strike out and see about destroying the Spectre, and if that goes well, we might clear out the Guardians of Zanam, as well as heading up and taking out the Tianki Matriarch. We're basically at the point where we can pull that off. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Hiro Marutsu, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.